keep forgetting that as I'm typing, you guys are on here and I'm just typing quietly. What's going on, Spellman sis? I got your message. We definitely got to shoot. We got to definitely talk. All right. Ethan, get off of the light, please. Ethan, get off of the light, please. I'm live. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, Spellman sis? What's going on, DCEO Coleman? As our room fills up, I am so excited about today's session. I'm so excited every week, every Wednesday at 8. We've been blessed to be able to have some amazing guests come on to drop gems, share their stories, and also help you guys answer questions. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out our last one. We had one with an amazing sister who was a district attorney and also a law professor. And we have another amazing guest on for tonight's show. So as our room fills up, I see my Spellman sis in the house. I want you guys to let us know where you're viewing our session from. And I'm holding it down here in St. Louis, Missouri. Of course, one of the things for you guys who have first joined us, my name is Anthony. I'm the founder of Becoming JD, y'all, right there. Where our mission, our purpose, our goal is to help get you guys into law school. And we do that, of course, by showing you guys how to overcome red flags with simple formulas to help showcase the skills that law schools are looking for that you guys oftentimes have and overlook. We got ATL in the house. We got Mississippi in the house. All right, that's awesome. Mississippi is like my second home, y'all. I went to Piney Woods. To my people out there in Mississippi, y'all know what Piney Woods is. We got McKenzie in the house, Jackie Butler's favorite former home. So again, we're going to let the room continue to fill up. We got, who else we got in the house? We got Moscow, Idaho. Yes, we up in here, y'all. And so again, we have a wonderful session planned for you guys tonight. Ethan, my son, move your foot so you don't hit my light. If you hear me say that's because I'm talking to my son, trying to show him how I do things over here on Instagram Live. All right, but nevertheless, you guys, we want to make sure that you guys come prepared to get some tea. In addition to that, I want to make sure that you guys come prepared to get some answers and get some questions and drop it in the chat box. Listen, man, I want to make sure that when you come away from our session, you're going to come away from our session full and fed. That means that wherever you are in your journey, that means you could be at the beginning. That means you could be at the point where you're about to click submit on your app. It could be while you're a 1L or a 2L or you're a 3L that's about to graduate. I want you to make sure you fill my chat box up with questions to make sure that you guys get those questions answered. One of the questions that I posed earlier this week, Houston in the house, I love it. What's going on, Trey Brown? What I want to make sure you guys do, okay, is listen, man. I made a post, you guys, earlier where I asked, how old were you when you first met a judge? You guys, I want you to put down how old you were when you first met a judge. Me, I'm going to be keeping it a buck with you guys. I'm going to put it in the chat box how old I was. Put in the chat box how old you were when you first met a judge. I got what's going on, Nyla? What's going on, iNatural Vixen? We're putting in the chat box how old you were the first time you met a judge. All right? Because one of the reasons why we have these IG Lives, Making the Case series, is for you guys to be able to talk to lawyers, judges, law students, DAs, people who are doing big things that you want to do, who, guess what, look like you. Because oftentimes when we see people doing things that we want to do, more likely than not, we believe it's not possible because we don't see people who look like us doing it. Nisha put in there 26. Queen Jen from ATL said 22. We're asking you guys 19. Mississippi holding it down. That's what's up. And so we want to know how old you were when you first met a judge. The first time I met a judge was when I was 23 years old, trying to apply to law school. And I knew I had to get an internship because my LSAT score wasn't too tight. So I was 23 years old. Unfortunately, he gave me a chance in Nashville, Tennessee. And yo, my man, this judge handed out a ruling that for 108 years. The longest ruling held out in Nashville at that time, Nashville, Tennessee. We got Caitlin saying 20 years old. All right, awesome. And so I ask these questions because I want you guys to be able to understand that we have a wonderful opportunity for you guys who say you haven't met a judge. Well, guess what, y'all? Y'all better pull up, man, because we're about to meet a judge today. Not now, today, all right? We're going to have the honor, the pleasure of having a historic judge, a judge who made history, Mississippi-owned, born and bred, you guys. who really did big things, and I really wanted an opportunity to have her story. She made history in 2021, y'all, when she became the first black female judge in Makin, Mississippi, y'all, in 2021. And she's still making moves, and she did this at 28. And I want you guys to understand that age is nothing but a number, but when you're able to make moves and manifest, no matter what age you are, this story is inspiring. And of course, it has set off the algorithm, man. We had a whole lot of people making comments. And so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get, let me see here. I think she's on the chat. So we can get her to join us. Let's see here. There we go. Add as a moderator. I think that's how we invite her on. All right. And we're going to have her share her story. Because a lot of times, you know, we see people doing big things, but we don't really get a chance to talk to them. And so this is a wonderful opportunity for you guys to be able to touch base, engage, talk, hear their stories, hear that Mississippi accent, and hear how somebody doing something great, it also could be something that you could be able to do as well. And so, Judge Shequeena, if you can, please, Shequeena, could you please send a request to join the video? Let's see here. I'm going to see if I can do it for you, sis. And let's see here. Ooh, here we go. Invite to join. Here we go. There we go. Invite. So go ahead and accept, and you'll be on the live. And so I'm really excited about this. So you guys, make sure you fill my chat box up with questions. What's going on, Judge?
Hey, how are you?
First and foremost, sis, I wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I'm hoping you're feeling better. You told me you had a cold, but thank you so much for taking the time.
Oh, no problem. I'm happy to join you. And yeah, I am feeling better.
All right, fantastic, man. When we posted you, we did not know that we were going to break the internet with all the comments and everything. I was like, whoa, what is all this stuff coming from? And I was sharing you like, hold on, my husband holding the camera. With most husbands, I know I do that for my wife too.
Yes.
What happened? I was like, what is this?
That was the last thing that crossed my mind when I said, you know, someone would look at the picture. Like, that's the last thing that I would have even thought of. So, yeah, I was taken by surprise.
But nevertheless, you know what? One thing that's amazing, though, is we're here. And it's a blessing. And one of the things I always tell people, and I was listening to some of your other interviews that you gave, and it's just like, sometimes when you're moving in life, you're not really thinking about how you're setting an example for other people.
Right.
Sis, you set an example. You ain't even trying. And so I'm going to give you the floor briefly to tell people, introduce yourself. I was like, at first I was like, do I call her judge? Do I call her your honor? Do I call her attorney? And I was like, so give you the floor to introduce yourself. It's amazing who you are and what you're doing, sis.
Okay, so I am Shequeena McKenzie. I am an attorney. I'm an attorney at Sellers and Associates. We're located in Jackson, Mississippi. I am also a municipal court judge. I'm the pro tem judge in Makin, Mississippi, which is where I became the first African American female judge. And I'm also the judge in Magnolia, Mississippi. And so I'm the full-time judge there. Among other things, I am a wife and I'm a mother of two. So I keep a pretty busy life, but I like to say that it's a balanced life as well.
Absolutely. And this is still with 24 hours in a day, right? You're doing all of this.
Yes.
24 hours.
Yes.
And one of the things that's amazing about your story, sis, because as soon as I saw Mississippi, I thought, Mississippi is like my second home. I went to Piney Woods. I'm sure you know about Piney Woods. And so when I saw Jackson on there, when I saw McCombs up there, I was like, I remember those days in Mississippi. And so I'm just excited to have you here. And I know a lot of times, you know, one of the questions I posed earlier, I asked, you know, how old were you when you first met a judge? And, you know, for a lot of people, you know, if we have to include TV judges, every time I was there, I was sick. But when I say meeting a judge and then meeting a judge who looks like me, there was a lot of people who were grown, said they'd never met one before. And so I thought it was important for people to be able to have a chance to hear you, talk to you, and ask questions, because it is something that people just oftentimes don't ever get to experience.
That's true. I actually, myself, I'm the first attorney in my family. So I think I may have been in law school when I actually met a judge. I mean, like you said, I've seen a judge before, never really got a chance to speak to one though, but I really think I was in law school when I first had that opportunity.
And and that's amazing, right? And I feel like oftentimes when we're able to meet someone who's doing something that we want to do, that makes it more real, right? You know, it's just
Hmm.
like, oh snap, like she, okay, and
I can do this.
okay. I mean, I honestly think, no diss to entertainment, but we see basketball and we see the odds. We see
Hmm.
entertainment and we see the odds. But then we see the representation and we like, oh, okay, I got it. I can do it too. But oftentimes when we go into the legal field and we go and see the representation or the absences of it, we're like, okay, can we
Right.
do this? I mean, is it possible? And so one of the things I know we have, I don't want to take you too long, but I want to be able to ask is like, for example, one of the most important questions you often start with is, how did we get here? So how do we get to a point where you wanted to become a lawyer?
Okay. So it's always been a lawyer for me. I've always known that I wanted to be a lawyer. I did go through that phase where I had one other career path in mind, and that was to model. And so I dibbled in that for a little bit while I was at USM. I went to undergrad at USM in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And so after, right. So I think it was my senior year at USM. I was walking around campus like, what's next? Do I go to law school straight out or do I chase this dream? So I decided to go the practical route because I felt like I could have spent 3 years chasing that dream of being a model and nothing would have come from it. And then in 3 years, I would have finished law school and I would have had a career. So I decided to do that and chase my other dream that I always had. And it was just a thing of wanting to help people, wanting to speak up for people, wanting to be the voice for the voiceless. So that's where that passion came from for wanting to be a lawyer. And when I left USM, I went straight through.
And see, I hope you guys caught that T, right? One of the big words that the judge said was passion. Like oftentimes in our journey, we oftentimes find ourselves going through struggles and we'd be like, man, is that a sign from God telling me that I shouldn't be doing this? And
Hmm.
oftentimes it's just like that was a sign for you where it was just like, okay, I have to go and walk into my purpose. And it's not something that's going to be laid out perfectly for me, but it's just something I'm going to have to evolve and grow into.
Right.
And so just piggybacking on that, when you think about like, I would love to think it was this perfect, like, you know what? I want to go to law school. All right, I'm just going to apply. Well, LSAT, no problem. I'm good. But, and a lot of times, they see the road, they see the license, they see the practice, they be like, oh, well, she didn't have to go through what I went through. But I
Oh,
want you to talk a little bit about some of the struggles because honestly, the reason
yeah.
why this is because I think is when we see someone who's successful, struggling, and breaking through, it's like, okay, she did it, so I can do it too. So you could
Yeah.
roll back in the time machine and talk about, some of those challenges that you had to overcome during that process.
So, of course, I'm from Mississippi. I think everyone has this idea of what Mississippi is like. And I won't say whether or not it is or is not, but I will say I did have struggles. At USM, I didn't, I it wasn't difficult for me. USM was not difficult for me. The path to getting to law school, it wasn't necessarily challenging. It was more so of, are you going to dedicate your time and attention to something that you want to do? So studying for the LSAT, I think I may have taken the LSAT one time just to see what it was like. I think a lot of people may do that. And then after that, I said, well, you only have so many chances to take it before, like, all right, you're about to graduate. Now, what are you going to do? So I think I had like one more chance to take the LSAT before it was the end, and I had to wait off another year or another semester or so. And I ended up doing Kaplan. So I did the Kaplan LSAT prep, and it was effective, but it's one of those, you get what you put in, whatever you put in, that's what you get out of it. So I would say that I did not do it 100%, but I did see some type of growth from it, and it was fine. I mean, I took the LSAT. The LSAT is a different type of test. If I could say, I don't think it's a true representation of how you would perform in law school. And I say that because the LSAT can be very discouraging for that reason. A lot of people say, and mostly people of color, they'll tell you, well, I don't do well with standardized tests. Get through the test because law school will not be like that. Law school is more practical. The LSAT test is more, let's play with your mind, and that's what it's doing. So you have to take it for what it is and understand, once I get past this, I have, other things that I'll go through, but it's more so of getting in the mindset of these obstacles, whatever they may come, but they're not going to stop me. I always have to figure out a way how to get around that. So I guess you could say that was one of the struggles, getting into law school. So once I pretty much took the LSAT, I applied to a few law schools. I didn't apply to many because I'm a Mississippi girl. I never moved out of Mississippi, and I didn't really want to. And so it's two law schools in Mississippi, Ole Miss Law School and then Mississippi College Law School. So Ole Miss is like right there, too far across to the state border for me. So I did not want to go to that school. I actually didn't apply, but I applied to Mississippi College. It was probably one of the first schools that I stopped at. They had like a career fair at USM. I stopped at, talked to them. I was like, yeah, I was probably a freshman. I was like, yeah, I want to go to your school. I'll be coming to your school in a few years. And when I got that opportunity, I took it. So I wasn't one that, I guess, wanted to go far out and wanted to go to a particular school. I wanted to stay in Mississippi, and I did get into the school that I wanted to go to. Fast forward a little bit, I did have struggles, or you can say certain biasness and discrimination. I did experience that in law school. Again, you can let it stop you, or you can keep going.
Preach.
So yeah, with those, I would say they came in the form of job opportunities. They have something called, I can't even remember the name of it, but it's the opportunity for you when you're in the first year. And so I don't know if it's first year associates or what, but I was in the top of my class. I was one of the very few African Americans in the top of my class. I was like one of the only two African American females in the top of my class. So I'm saying all of that because I still didn't get neither of those jobs. Like all the ones that I applied for, I did not get them for whatever reason. So I can say that they were because of biasness, but I also could have been discouraged by those, but I wasn't. I decided, if those opportunities were not for me, then I was going to seek an opportunity that was for me. So I did find different opportunities and different people to give me those chances. Those people just so happen to look like me as well. So I'm forever grateful for our people, for us stepping up for us and taking a chance on us, because I wouldn't be here today if I didn't have those people in my life that said, let me give you a chance, even when the other big law firms said, no, I'm not going to.
I mean, since you over here giving a testimony on Bible study, we got Andy here saying, I needed to hear this. He said, I almost gave up today.
Wow.
And so hearing these words, I hope people will be able to understand. Now, listen, she didn't say, it was hard, so I tried something else. She didn't say, man, they being biased. I'm going to quit. The LSAT's bias. Literally, a study came out in 2019, sis, that said that the test is designed. Study found that people of color score 142 on average, while while our white brothers and sisters score on average a 152. And so, but those biases are out
Wow.
there. And let's keep it a buck. If you're a person of color, you've been beaten bias your whole life. So we should be used to it. And so I hope you hear this story and realize it's like, okay, all right, bet. All right, I'm going to find a way. Okay. All right, I didn't do well on that LSAT. All right, bet. I don't have to like it to do well. I don't have to like it to grow on it. And so one of the things I also want to explore with you is it's like, for example, when you went about selecting a school, because I think a lot of the hangups that a lot of people have, like I found a study that said literally, it said that 50% of the people of color who apply to law school get rejected. And they say it's not because of LSAT scores, it's about they're applying to the wrong school. So when you saw Mississippi College, and I love that school, I love the support that they give to their students, what made you say, oh, this is me, fam. I'll see y'all. We're going to be linking up soon.
So I did like the fact that it was in Mississippi, and I also like the fact that it was in the capital. It was right there in Jackson, the hub, and I felt like it would open the door for many networking opportunities. And in fact, it actually did just that. So I think my second year, I ended up clerking for a judge. I clerked for Judge Latrice Westbrooks at the Court of Appeals. And then after that, when I finished and I graduated from law school, I ended up getting a clerkship for 1 year at the same Court of Appeals with the Honorable Judge McDonald. So I did get opportunities. Like I said, the opportunities that would be there, you have to walk into them. But again, everybody they looked like me. And I could have said, I didn't get those 1L jobs. Maybe this isn't for me, but I kept trucking along, kept doing what I needed to do. And I often tell people I was overly prepared for everything. So when you think about classes in the 1L year, that was a struggle for me. It's very different. Again, USM was not a struggle at all. I used to write 10-page papers in a minimum 3 days, and sometimes if I needed to, a day. Like I could do 10 pages in 3 days, and I could study for a complete test one night. Like that was fine. When I went to law school, it was different. It was everybody in your class was the top of their class. It was you're graded on a curve. So all these smart people, whoever's the lowest, that's who's going to fail. So for me, that was a lot. That was a lot of stress on me. That actually led me to, I actually went to the doctor. I'll just be transparent. It brought anxiety upon me because of the thought that I'm at the top of my class. I'm smart. I've always been smart. Now I'm in here with all of these smart people.
Yeah.
And this is a lot for me. And so you have some people, their first year, they give up. It's too hard for them. They stop going. Well, no, I say study harder, study longer, never miss a day of class. You do other things that will make you come up to par to where you need to be. So I remember my criminal justice class. It was I can't remember if it was the midterm or the final or both. But I remember coming to class, and it may have been 2 weeks before the test, and I was the only one in class that was prepared for the test. I was like, my teacher can give me my test today, and I'm ready for it, and I know I am. I studied for the test 2 months prior. Like, I just studied, and I knew I cracked down. I ended up graduating. I ended up in that class with the highest average in the class. I ended up getting an award for that. But it's just all about when I started the class, my anxiety kicked in. And I said, I'm not taking pills. I'm going to control it. And I'm going to control it by studying harder, studying longer, preparing myself, and I would be ready before everybody else is ready for the test. So they came into class, and I'm like, the test not today. And they're like, you're ready? They hadn't studied, looked at anything. So then I'm not the one that's nervous. Now everyone else is nervous. Like, why am I not ready for this test like she is? So yeah, I wouldn't let anything stand in the way of anything that you want, but just figure out ways to bring yourself up to where you need to be so you can feel comfortable and confident in yourself.
Woo, boy! I'm telling you. I hope you guys are hearing all this tea. I want to be able to break some of it down, sis, so we could be able to really let people understand. Like literally, you guys. Hope you're able to understand. Like what she said. Literally, is that one thing? One of the things that really stuck out to me that I really want to focus on is that if you want something, sometimes you're going to have to understand. Because you remember in law school when you go to career services and they have the job posters up there, and them jobs are already given out already.
Mm-hmm.
And what you have, what she said, you got to walk in your purpose. That means you got to make opportunities. And I want, because one of the things I do love, and it may sound bad how I say this, is but because there's so few representation, it almost becomes almost like a family. Oh, you want to be a lawyer? Oh, you want to be a judge? And if you show that you have that initiative and passion, and people are here to help you. But you have to be able to step out your comfort zone, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you could just elaborate a little bit about how you stepped out your comfort zone and made those opportunities, because I know a lot of times it wasn't posted on them job boards. It definitely was not on the job boards for me. When I got my clerkship, it wasn't posted at all, but a sister helped me out in Mississippi, in South Carolina.
That is true. I would say, all right, let's start with comfort zone. When I say this, you're not going to believe me. No one will believe me. I am actually a very shy person, or I would say I was at one point in my life a very shy person. But like you said, when you have passion for something, it won't let you sit back and just let things go the way they're going. It will bring something out of you that you didn't even know you could bring out yourself. So the passion that I had brought me out of my comfort zone for one. Now for two, I like to think of networking as not networking. I don't like to think of I'm networking with someone. So I like to talk to people, get to know them on a genuine level, make some type of connection with them. And once you do that, that is when the opportunities will roll in. Because one thing that I noticed, and they told us this in law school, the legal field is this small. It is extremely small, and the amount of African Americans in the legal field is even smaller. So, with that being said, you will get calls on who can I hire for this? Who can I hire for that? Do you have a person? You will get those calls. So, what you want to do is carry yourself in a way that anyone, someone, whoever you met, whoever you spoke with, will be able to say, I met so and so. She's very polished. She keeps herself together. Her image is good. She's not wilding out on social media. Can't leave that part out because that is most of the time people do not meet you. They see your social media and they create an image of you based on your social media. So you do have to carry yourself in a respectable manner in person, in public, as well as on social media. So once you do all of those things, once I, realized that those things work, I was able to meet people, and they would put me in a position that I can meet someone else, or they will introduce me to my next job, and it happened like that every single time. When I finished law school, I did not have a job offer. I had classmates that did not look like me. They had job offers and they had connections and they had family already, attorneys, and all types of things that I didn't even know about because, again, I'm a first generational law student. But that didn't stop me. That didn't hold me up. I actually went to an alumni event, and it may have been 2 weeks before graduation. It was right there by that mark. I saw this lady. She looked bright, tall, like very polished. I said, look, that's an attorney I need to meet. I just walked up to her. I was like, hey, look, you look like an important person. I need to meet you. I'm Shequeena. Like, I'm amazed by you. And I'm one that I'm not scared to give someone their props. Like, if you look great, you look great. And I'm gonna tell you, if your suit is on point, your suit, like, I love it. And so once you do that, you throw yourself out there. Her next statement was, "Do you have a job?" I was like, "No, I don't." "Send me an email Monday." Cool. That was my first job. And it was literally stepping out of my comfort zone. Went to an event, and I'll back up a little bit. I had a child, so I got married in law school and I had my baby in law school. So networking, getting a job, I couldn't really do any of that. I didn't get an opportunity to do any of that until my last semester. So that was probably the first or second event that I had even went to. And so being an experienced networker, that wasn't me. I was myself. And my intentions were not to network. My intentions were not to get a job, but that's what came from it. So stepping out of your comfort zone is sometimes that looks like you being yourself and allowing yourself to open up into those spaces and not sitting back and wishing or thinking, or I should say this or I should say no. Tell her you like her suit, and she's probably going to be like, "Thank you. What are you doing? Do you have a job?" You never know.
Wow, you got. And so hold on, I just want to clarify this. So you telling me that you can go to law school and have kids and still kill it and graduate at the top of your class? Because it seems like this misnomer out there says for people, "Oh, you got to wait till the kids get older." Nah, you can't do it. I just want to make sure to clear that up.
So no. Some people have different motivations. Those were my motivations. My family, my support system, that was my motivation. My number one prayer in law school was, I want good grades. I want very good grades, but I want to be able to have good grades and to keep my sanity. So I may didn't have all A's, but I wanted my sanity at the same time. And when I think about being able to focus on school and being able to actually thrive in school, I think about my support system. And I never can leave them out. My parents, they're very supportive. My husband, he's always been very supportive from day one. And when I had a child, oddly enough, it seems like that would have knocked me off, or, I would have struggled a little bit. No, my mother-in-law, she supported me a lot. And when I had him, my GPA actually went up the next semester. So I actually graduated cum laude after having him and after working at the Court of Appeals at the same time. So I say it now and it sounds crazy to me. It sounds like how did you do that? And it was me. It happened to me, and that's how it sounds to me. But I'll tell you my very favorite quote, and this is a quote that I lived by from day one to law school. I had it on my desk. I looked at it every single day, and it says, "Don't count the days, make the days count." And that is what I did. That is what I continuously do. People say, "How do you do it now?" I do it one day at a time. I do it one assignment at a time. I do it one case at a time. No, I could not have looked at what I accomplished right now. I couldn't look at that as a whole and do it. I wouldn't have been able to. But in digestible chunks, day by day, assignment by assignment, test by test, before you know it, you're done and you did it. So yeah, that's pretty much how I operate. That's how I work. That's how I balance and juggle everything. I have my support system, and I take it one day at a time, one step at a time.
All right, absolutely. Again, I'm on the line with the judge, Shequeena, McKenzie, doing the damn thing, you guys. And I want you guys to be able to understand the value of what she just told you guys, right? You want a clerkship. You want an opportunity. You got to shoot your shot. And it's not, when you hear it from me, it's, she told you that this is what a judge is telling you to do, right? She's telling you want these opportunities. That mean maybe, because guess what it says? I mean, last time I checked, anybody could pull up the court, sit in court, dress up in a suit, have questions. I remember one of the things, how I got my clerkship, sis, is I just literally, I think in South Carolina, there were literally like only 6 black judges, 6. And so what I would do is on Friday when I didn't have school, I went to court.
Go to court.
And I went to Judge Jefferson, who just got, Biden just appointed her. And I didn't know about the network at all. And she was like, I went in her office because I kept on going to court to see her all the time. She's like, what are you doing here? You know, you see a person showing up at court, and eventually she let me come into her chambers. And then all of a sudden she's on the phone with the other judges. Well, I already have somebody right now, so I'm going to send you down here. And I'm sitting here like, wow, this is how it works.
Yes.
And you guys, but this is how you have to make those opportunities. Yes, you have a formal process. And I'm sure my law students out there, you may be saying, you know, I'm going to go to the career services. A lot of times you got to make your own opportunities. I mean, the judge showed you, she just, hey, sis, I love your dress. And look, guys, and this is amazing. And I want to ask some people have some questions on here for you.
Okay.
Spoiled in Love says, any advice on securing legal internships out of undergrad? So I'm guessing people are asking, are they able to get clerkships without being in law school? Or if so, what do they need to do?
Well, I think it depends on the judge, but I definitely would not. I'm the type of person, I'm not going to tell myself no. I will absolutely try. And then if at the very least, you're at least getting your resume out there, you're getting your name out there for when you do prepare and join law school. And once you do that, they'll already be familiar with you and they'll feel comfortable with you. And they'll say, oh, I know this person, they're polished. I met him, I met her, and I think they'll be great. And they may even say right now, come shadow me, and they may just want to get to know you. They may say, let's go to lunch every so often. Some of my mentors, I've never worked for them. We just went to lunch, but they also introduced me to other employers. So you never know what the opportunity may be. I would definitely say, shoot your shot.
What she said, we got Nisha over here. She says, and this is actually something that I know I really like that a lot of law schools and organizations are trying to do, is trying to educate people. It says, what does the road to becoming a judge look like? Because that's something that a lot of people don't know.
Right. Well, I'll just say, I have a lot of goals. I had a lot of goals, a lot of dreams. Being a judge was not one of them. It wasn't one that I ever thought about. I never thought that I would make history. I actually didn't find out until I had accepted the position. I was like, oh wow, really? Didn't know that. They didn't tell me that. But what does it look like? Of course, you have to go to undergrad, you have to go to law school, but some judges, they do have to run for an election. I didn't have to do that. I was actually sought after. I was appointed, and the board voted on me, and then I accepted the position. So it looks different for different types of judge positions. The type of judge that I am, I can actually still practice law. Some different types of judge, when you get to certain levels, you're not able to practice law because I'm so young and fresh in my career. I didn't want to cut all of that off. I still love interacting with my clients. I still love handling my personal injury cases. I still have that drive and that passion to be this, really great lawyer. And so I didn't want to close that door up. And that was the only reason why I accepted the position, is because I would still be able to do both. But again, it looks different in different cities, because some of the cities where, like the city where I'm a judge at, they have their own set of requirements. And depending on the city that you're at, you may want to go look and say, what are the requirements for being a municipal court judge? It will look different for everyone. Like I said, for me, I didn't have to go through an election. Some cities, they're all different. You may have to go through an election. If you do need to, there's something that you can start preparing for. You can start joining organizations. You can start, making connections with certain people. So my story is a little different. I didn't ask for it. I was actually out of town. I was in Vegas on vacation when I got the phone call, and I didn't want to even answer because I'm one. When I'm at work, I'm at work. When I'm on vacation, I'm on vacation. But I went on ahead, I took the phone call, and it was truly, truly life changing, not only for me, but just for those looking at me, just for those that thought they couldn't do it, those that thought I never. I have people that come to my courtroom now and they say, I've never seen a female judge. They say they've never seen an African American judge. And this is 2023. So, yeah, it's crazy. But like I said, do your research, check out those cities, think about if it's something that you want to do fully, full time, and you don't want to practice law. Because if you do want to practice law, then it's only a certain type of judge that you can be. And most likely in any state, it'll probably be like justice court or municipal court when you can still practice law.
Woo! Y'all got that? And sis, you over here inspiring the masses. I'm over here looking at the chat. You got Lord of Love said, putting on my new suit and sitting in somebody's chambers. You got Nisha saying, I love your hair. And one of the things I definitely want to do for you is, you know, we're now in a time where, you know, finding that balance. And I think one of the questions actually Sport and Love asked was about, what do you do for self-care and management? Because this process is exhausting mentally. And how do you manage that? Because I think a lot of people really want to know how to do that.
So, like I just said, one thing is when I'm at work, I'm at work. And it's pretty much nonstop. I don't like to have side conversations. I am all the way in work. But on the weekends, I enjoy my weekend. I have to take my break. That's my time. That's my time with my family. That's my time for me to unwind. That's my time for me to get refreshed and rejuvenated. And so I take probably no calls. I try not to do any work. You know, sometimes you have to if you have a big assignment or something, if you have trial. I get that. It's not often though. But that's one way that I balance everything. I work during work hours. I work hard during work hours, but when I'm off work, and that's one thing that my family had to learn and respect because they have my cell. So they see me, they know where I live. So I had to establish that early on, like, hey, at the cookout, you can tell me that you're going to call me next week. Like, that's what you can do. But let's not have a consultation at the cookout because I'm getting refreshed. So I tell people, you know, take your time off, take your vacations. And then when you're at work, you know, don't miss anything. So it'll all balance itself out.
Sis, I just want to tell you thank you. Like, literally, the gems that you've dropped have been so amazing. You got people saying in the chat boxes, I was thinking lawyer. Now I'm thinking I want to be a judge. I mean,
Wow.
and that's just amazing. Like, and I think what it is by hearing someone who looks like them doing the things, overcoming obstacles, and not be like, oh, I could do it too. And so I want to tell you thank you. I want to tell your husband thank you. I want to tell your entire support system thank you for sharing your story with us. And to all you guys out there, I want to see you guys in somebody's courtroom manifest. This amazing judge went from complimenting someone on her suits, and now she's the one that people are trying to get clerkship with and internship opportunities with. And this could be you too. So I want to tell you thank you so much for taking your time. Everybody, thank you guys so much for joining us, and make sure you continue to fight for your lawyer dreams. If you have questions, of course, are they able to reach out to you on IG?
Of course. Yeah. So I'm actually in the process of trying to create some type of email for this because I can't really keep up with the messages. It is so many on all different platforms, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and I don't like purposely try to ignore anyone. So I am in the process of trying to create some type of email, some type of platform, some type of system where I can keep everything organized and I'm able to give back because like I said, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for someone giving me a hand and helping me up. So I definitely want to be a blessing to anyone that I can be.
All right, and again, you guys. Thank you, sis, for joining us, and we'll see you guys again next Wednesday at 8.
Thank you. Nice to meet
Peace and
you.
blessings, everybody. Continue to fight for your lawyer dreams. We're here to help you normalize the struggle, realizing, normalizing, overcoming those struggles. Sis is the template. Follow it and manifest. Take care, you guys. Be blessed.
Thank you.